You and myself, part one will start. And the real part one will start between Joseph Boakai and myself. Y'all keep watching it. And the police is saying, no, the police don't get interested in my case.
So how do you think this case will go
for? The police say my case are not nothing. They get interested in it. No, let me tell you something. Joseph Boakai will know why brought him to power. I didn't bring him to power for cases to be overlooked. But you know what? Joseph Boakai and myself, we will start part one between Joseph Boakai taking me for Joe. If I brought him to power to be foolish and irresponsible, part one will start. You keep watching the Yega TV.
How long you think that's going to go?
Bossman, you need that thing.
Say they don't have interest in your case.
We all need that thing. I said Joseph Boakai and myself, part one will start.
With Deputy Speaker T5.
Superintendent, it doesn't mean you mayor right away. It doesn't mean that you commissioner. You will have to come to Monrovia for confirmation. I don't want you to pay your way to come sit in Monrovia for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months because one person told you it can happen. You'll get disgusted, you'll get tired because probably you'll end up going back to FOIA with embarrassment. Please correct that situation right now and come to Monrovia. Let those names be recalled. We should not and must not embarrass Joseph Boakai presidency. Please, my friends for the Unity Party. Those of you named the call, if you're listening to me this morning, tell them for the sake of peace, for the sake of our district and the reconciliation with Fostering, you'll please take my name from there. You'll take my name from there and replace with qualify or whoever Unity Party participants to replace it. Let's move on. So if you force it because someone says to you, go Monrovia, you'll be confirmed, you'll be commissioner, you'll be mayor. I think the mistake is because I don't see it. And those individuals are even they themselves. I want the kids people to understand you can't continue to provoke one group of people. You can't continue to provoke my authority as well. If it doesn't work that way, we must have a balance. All of us must be in peace and live in peace. Don't continue to step my emotions. Don't continue to step me because Father want peace, Father want unity, he want trouble, he want love to respect the president. Tomorrow, I don't want the kids people and people are free out to say, oh, the representative, Parallel, they try to struggle with the public, they try to embarrass the government, they try to do it because I understand and know our people have the thing. And sometimes they do look at the reality. So please, Unity Party partisans, with love, this is the Easter week. Wish you all of the best. But in conclusion, those city names, they are not the right people at this time. So sorry to say they are qualified, they are key people, they are competent. But on the basis of things that they know and we all know, no one should present this for you. You all know what happened. You all know. These are not the people to reconcile among our people over there. They need to stop. You don't reward people like that. Partisans should be rewarded, but not people with thin repetitions and characters. No. Please stop. Thank you very much. Wish all of our citizens.
As you can see, these are the PSU men are going to disgrace us this morning because they want to get place to allow people. That's the reason why you see them, they are doing all of these things there. You hear? That's the reason why they're doing these things there. Because they want to get place to allow them. That's the reason why they're doing it. And then you see, you can see, as you can see, they are still I know you. I know you.
Yes. Stop.
Wasting because y'all keep the boss around this morning. As you can see, they really will ask the people to stop bossing the place. You can see the people to stop bossing the place. They're bossing the place. As you can see.
I have been working for the past 6 years with Joria government, and we are caretaker. We are the one that's doing the cleaning up and thing. Since Joseph Boakai for the past 6 years, since Joseph Boakai took over for the past 3 months, they be demanding us to come to work every day. For me, I pay $450 to where I live to come here and $450 to go back Every day they will take listing for oil carry. But I was surprised yesterday, the minister called and he want to have meeting with us. So we got there, Paulina came, and Paulina said there is no budget for us. She's not going to pay us, and she put it all down. Maybe when she get money the 15th or next month, she will pay us. For everybody that work on the job, we are government, she will put everybody down, and that's what she did. So we got angry, we went to the mansion in group, 730 persons. Paulina, she said, Joe, we have put her father down when you were working. So anybody that work on a job, we are with him, that job, we are put that she will put them down. Paulina took her. So therefore, she came and said, she's not working with us again, and she didn't pay us. So I saw that we work in this government for the past 6 years. And then for the 3 months that Joseph Boakai got there, we've been working early in the morning, we can't early in the morning, you can't work. We have been working for the past 6 months. So they should get our pay so that we can go and sit down. Like how she left, so we should go and sit down and wait for the 15th. And I'm telling the Liberian government, I'm telling Boakai, Joseph Boakai, I said Joseph Boakai, and I'm always talking to the senator, representatives that we elected you, we voted for you. We are single mother. We call you. We voted for you in the house. You're sitting there. Paulina play with us. And Paulina play with us. She will get it wrong for herself. She will get it wrong. Paulina, the small child. She running into the house. She baby. If you want to take off anywhere, they off. We'll go and sit down. But you can't come and tell all people that we're on to work for me. Are we not Liberian? Are we not Liberian? That you taking bread from our table, taking food from our mouth because of Georgia? Please, our senator, you can fall back. Our senator in the house, you have been talk for us. You say you are going to talk for the women. That's what Paulina is doing to us. She's taking bread from our mouth. We will be marching. We all will be going to the mansion in black. We will walk to the mansion and we'll point tire. And they will kill all the way they keep putting in your that they kill us. Because that's why they keep us to kill. They say they came to rescue. But they never came to rescue or they came to kill us. We will march to the mansion, everybody going to wear black. Everybody that wear with Minister of State that they put down, I've been in Yango saying they will wear black. We'll go to the mansion, we'll put tire, we'll point it, we'll walk to the mansion. The liar they get there, the information director, the information minister is a black liar. The people came to steal. He came outside when he saw us. He stood up, he said, your words are coming to Paulina, coming back. He never came back. He just left on the only thing they did, they called the police start shopping us all over the place. So if they will kill us, they must be ready to kill us some money. We are Liberian. We work and we earn our own money.
The government said they came to rescue us, but they came to kill us slowly. There's some of us, we have 10 children, no husband, to even help us to sustain our children. Now on the side what we're sending, that Susu can help us to pay our rent, to pay our children's school fees. But the government, people come here around, they tell us that we should leave the sidewalk. And once of the seven area, they sort of be careful with. They want us, they poo water running from China Baby. They don't put the effort to clear the poo. Yeah, beyond Central Bay, or in the car road, the necklace, and not in the car, on the car road. They're all a fair necklace. They can occupy the car road. The government see that one. But with the innocent people, why we know our job facility, our children all our high school in college, and the business between us sustain our children. Just like Baka Kino Kill and they can rescue. What I say we should fight for our children future. They don't want our children future. They can damage our children future. If they love the citizen, if they don't want riot, police or soldier, nobody can support. Because now where we get our daily bread from. None of the brown men, they're not supporting children with a mother. None of the brown men, they're not supporting children. And the brown men, they're not supporting children with a mother, with a husband, with a everything. And the brown men, they're not supporting children with a mother, with a husband, with none of the brown men, they're not supporting children with a mother, with a husband, with a everything. None of the brown men, they're not supporting children with a mother, with a husband, with a everything. There's some of us will not educated at the basement parking. Some when they tap around, tap by them with poo. Some of us when they tap around, tap by them with poo. Some of us will not of our weapon. Well, tap by them with poo. Some of us will not of our weapon. We're gonna melody with poo. Some of us will not of our weapon. We're gonna melody will not of our weapon. We're gonna melody man was when you come into our market, we'll plan your art. We will pray for you. Babans was when you come into our market. We will plan your heart. We will pray for you. The king to rescue of our the king to kill us slowly. There's some of us, we have 10 children, no husband, to even help us to sustain our children. Now, on the side, what we're saying, that Susu can help us to pay our rent, to pay our children's school fee. But the government, people come here and they tell us that we should leave the sidewalk. And once of the whatever area, they sort of be careful with. The waters are, the people water running from China Baby. They don't put the effort to clear the poo-poo. Yeah, beyond Central Bay, or in the car road, the necklace, and not in the crack, on the car road. They're all the necklace, they can occupy the car road. The government see that one. But with the innocent people, why we know our job facility, our children on a house in college, and the business between us sustain our children. Just like Baka King to kill and they can rescue. What I say we should vote for our children future. They don't want our children future. They can damage our children future. If they love the citizen and they don't want riot, police or soldier, nobody can stop them because I will get our daily breakfast. None of the brown men, they're not supporting children with their mother, with their husband, with their everything in the world. There's some of us who are not educated at the business parking. So when they temper around us, they might will fool. Some of us will not have our weapon. We're going to medicine there. Was when you come into our market, we'll plan your heart. We will prepare you. Baba signal will whistle on you. Because we fell out with it, no say in their country. Yeah? Don't say I can rescue them, want to kill or slow them. I get it there. So security, they came out police, they came around with selling police, they cannot get all awareness. For now until the 7th, they will see you on the street. That's it, but you don't get nobody job for saying that. And on the street, the people from the federal office, they can come our son. And what people making in it. Yeah? And I business will not belonging in market. Now along the street, in a market, or say, in the general market. Say la bravo for me. All over the world, the great America, they sat on the street. Africa, they sat on the street. Rescue of our lady, kill us slowly. There's some of us, we have 10 children, no husband, to even help us to sustain our children. Now on the side, what we're saying, that Susu can help us to pay our rent, to pay our children's school fee. But the government, people come here and they tell us that we should leave the sidewalk. And once of the whatever area, they sort of be careful with. The waters are, the poo-poo water running from China Baby. They don't put the effort to clear the poo-poo. Yeah, beyond Central Bay, or in the car road, the necklace, and not in the crack, on the car road. They're all the necklace, they can occupy the car road. The government see that one. But with the innocent people, why we know our job facility, our children on a house in college, now the business between us sustain our children. Just like Baka King to kill and they can rescue. What I say we should vote for our children future. They don't want our children future. They can damage our children future. If they love the citizen and they don't want riot, police or soldier, nobody can stop us. Because now where we get our daily bread from? None of the brown men, they're not supporting children with their mother, with their husband, with their everything in the womb. There's some of us who are not educated at the business parking. So when they temper around us, they will pull. Some of us will not have our weapon. We're going to medicine man. Was when you come into our market, we'll plan your heart. We will prepare you. Baba signal will whistle on you. Because we fell out with it, no say in their country. Yeah? Don't say I can rescue them, want to kill or slow them. I get it there. So security, they came out police, they came around with selling police. They cannot get all awareness. For now until the 7th, they will see you on the street. That's it, but you don't get nobody job facility. And on the street, the people from the federal office, they can come by our son. And what people making in it. Yeah? And that business will not belonging in market. Now along the street, in a market, or say in a general market. Say la bravo for me. All over the world, the great America, they sat on the street. Africa, they sat on the street. That they la bravo. What can improve that they want to suppress up on the street?
They bring her to go steal to the mainland store. So the man wanted for you to go steal from the web post store. Yeah. He said, I'm joining to go steal to the web mainland store to get money to the store that will go take it from there. I said, my man, how we buy for the same lecture? How can the people catch you now? The people, before the man called me back, now on the 18th, they more. The same man now? Yeah, the same man. The same man who want for you to go steal? Yeah, he called me on the 18th. Yeah. Now in the 9, now about 8:30, the man called me. He said, oh, my man, now the lecture been there, I'll call you back again. So that time you go to work? I go to work. I go to where?
Before your working place, you come to the man.
Yeah, I'm from my working area to Clarence to now go to the man.
To Bosti now?
No, I'm not Bosti. I'm not Bosti. I mean, I go to yeah.
I see the man say Bosti.
You question me, the thing you want for me to explain for you to understand. Then still questioning me, doubling the question. How many talk clear now?
I break it, sorry.
I see.
When they call you in there now.
When they call me in there.
Yeah.
He asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say, we are 3.
He told the message, you're 3.
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea to carry to
the message, what can you what
tea? Have milk tea.
Oh, milk tea?
Yeah.
For you to drink?
With bread.
With bread.
3 pieces of bread.
With egg is that?
You enter my butter. So when I carry it to the main, say carry to the main. When you give it to the main, then you will come back to the car.
So the food make you now carry that so you can go convince your friend now.
Yeah. When I give it to the main, the main say thank you. I say okay. The main say, where you going now? I say, I'm going where car. So one of my friends called me.
And the same man going to now.
Yeah, the same man.
And later he say one for you to go steal.
Yeah. So when I go to the man, he say clean the car. Then there are 2 now.
In the Jeep.
Then there are 2.
A big Jeep.
Yeah. Black BG, photo G. Yeah. So when I clean the car now,
air condition all inside.
No, Papa, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll leave the water now. You can judge people.
I just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people that can hear.
No, I'm a journalist. I break you, sorry.
The way you talk the question, can I say when I move from here, I'll free? When I say when I move from here, I'll free? You said one talk again. I wanted to mean it. Who talk clear to you, but double in the question. Hi, looking. Then you want force and no more word there again. Why not be looking to the top? I'm not going to talk again. And said they call me to the office. I go explain.
I think you explain to me that you come to get you say you carry the tea to the man. After you carry the tea to the man, and you come now. So what next now?
And for me, I'll not there.
Nobody getting very. Say asking you too much question. Hey, just put things in make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry. I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give me answer now, then do.
Okay. Explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, let's go now.
Go to school. The English say and many English.
Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Sorry.
See, Ali, you take time. You take time.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Say I can take time to
explain.
Okay.
Now people will use electronic and print media. They use everything to promulgate dirty propaganda. So they take advantage of that and they spread their own dirty propaganda to outpower us, to outsmart us, to dirty us around the world. So the investor cannot come here because you want to come. They'll be afraid. That's their intention, not to allow the investor to come. So they do all kinds of things to destroy this government image. That's what I know. Because this government cannot involve itself in killing people. President George, when he became president, he opened a church.
In more recent time, and just over the weekend, Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai made a statement that people shouldn't take men's job and give it to boys. He's a boy taking over a man's task in the presidency. What do you make of that?
Two things I want to say. That statement doesn't go well with me. If Mr. Weir is a boy, then I think he's a good boy. Because Joseph Boakai, former Vice President Boakai, dropped in his heart, he collapsed. Almost died. It is that boy, because George Weir, who ran there, pick him up, charter a plane to fly him abroad for open heart surgery by laying to live today with pacemaker battery. He's a battery total right now. So the battery is controlled by the women who gave him in the medical center where he was thrown to. So maybe he's not well to speak the way he's speaking. It's not why he's using battery. It's not normal. A man who is using battery and a man who is natural compare the two. So Joseph Boakai, the former vice president,
right here on this very tide, and so we are grateful to the Almighty God that we are here together again, beaming with life and that of good health, with God being on our side, and we are forever grateful to the Almighty God, and we are very, very happy that God is on our side, and we are forever. So welcome to the program Face the Issues. On the program Face the Issues, we don't discuss personalities, nope, but issues involving personalities. But when personalities do their thing in front of those issues, we don't in any way hesitate, but rather we tear you apart. Normally and usually because of the pain that will attend tearing you apart, or that will accompany tearing you apart, or that goes along with tearing you apart, we just tell you sorry. But that sorry in itself, don't construe it as a regret for our actions. We are not regretting it. So, and we think that we are very much happy that God Almighty is taking our country, and on a peaceful note so far, and we are certainly getting there. We will continue to do what we can for this country, no matter what it is. I know myself, but above all, God knows me better. It is not how I call myself that matters. It is how God calls me that matters. It is not how I evaluate myself that matters. It is how God evaluates me that matters. So as a result of that, I leave everything up to God, because He's the orator. He says, this is it, and it is it, not me. I would just carry my own false, impression that this, that. It could be false. It could be right. It could be false. But when God says, who will now say no about that? No, we don't do that. So in everything we do, we give God thanks and praise in everything that we do. What are the bad, the good, the fine, the ugly? We are there. And no matter what the circumstances are, one thing I know for sure is that one day we will get there. So certainly we are on the path of getting there. That's what we always said. We are getting there. And so we are forever grateful to the Almighty God that things will be okay. We still hope for the best. We are not pessimists. No. We are optimists. We still believe that things will get better. As to whether or not this region, but we just believe strongly that things will get better. No one lives for any dreadful moment in life. No, we don't do that. So you see, this country is for all of us. We'll never undermine this country to the extent that it affects all of us. That thing about, during those days when we were kids, we used to get vexed. Sometimes when somebody put hand in our food, we would throw the whole dish, and then the last food you have to eat, we'll just get vexed. Then you go hungry. What kind of vexation is that? You get vexed until you make yourself to get hungry. How kind of behavior is that? That's the kind of foolish thing that we used to be doing. Where people say, I will just spoil the whole food. But who going hungry? You yourself, you're going hungry too. So because that person came and made you angry by putting hand in your food, you sit down there, you just look at the whole pan, you just waste the whole food. For what? And you haven't eaten your, could you imagine you have just taken one spoon. Then somebody can put hand in your pan and can't take rest for that. You just see yourself falling on the ground, kicking the whole pan, chuckling it all over. But what are the last food now? Where would the food for to get you? So you prefer to go hungry because the person have just taken a spoon of rice from your pan, and you decide to spoil the whole thing and of course dump everything in the end. Who gets hungry? I don't kind of thing we used to do. So as patriotic Liberians, the interest of the country comes first. No matter how angry we are at what people do and decided to put hand in our food, we cannot spoil everything and go hungry. So no matter what people do to our country, we cannot get vexed to the extent that we say the whole country must come down. So when the whole country comes down, who's the country? That's you. So we can't crave for that. We will only checkmate, and I wish people don't like. We will only checkmate you, make sure that we charge you, and keep your feet to the fire so that you do things for the interest of our country. That's what you say you are going to do. We make changes for progress. We don't make changes for retrogression. No, we make changes for progress. So when we are holding your feet to the fire, and for that reason, then there's a problem. And one thing we said that you are overlooking is that the waves of fire incident with the limited electricity in the country, it is scary. Already no AEC very stable in this country. In fact, last night I was celebrating because when I called back home, they said the AEC was on, and they slept on the whole of last night until I left and came to work. It was still on. Later on, I call it went off. Then I call in other areas to see whether we are in uniformity. Because the reason I was asking for this is I always crave for the best for our country. Remember, there was a circular that came up and they said it was the CRSG people or the Ivory Coast people respond to the government of Liberia, right? Where they said they will be able to give, and I think peak hours. Yeah, they said peak hours they will give 25, kilowatts or something of power from Ivory Coast. Then they will increase it to 50 because I want 50, that 50, and the president and his delegation went to ask for. So they say it was going to kick off as of April Fool Day, which of course is April 1. And the first stretch will go from April 1 to June, April, May, June, 3 months. So when it comes from there, then from July to December, and they will have something happening there, and they will have done it like that. So that's what they will have done. So I just thought it has started because we expect that to happen. I just thought it has started. So we were very happy that it was going to kick off. Because there is a simplest thing, right? So that's why I don't crave for bad thing to happen to this country. So let's take, for instance, the next government that will come after Joseph Boakai as administration. Because he said he's going for 110, I said to that one. So after he should have left, if he were to maybe build skyscrapers all over the place, the next government that comes, their focus will not be building skyscrapers or maybe doing overhead bridges all over the place. That problem will already be solved by this government. So we'll now transition to the next thing to happen. So what we did successfully was we are inherited a country that had a broken electricity system. In fact, I was part of the delegation that went to the Monkofi Hydro sometimes back in 2020. So we are going to visit there, and the guy who is the head of the CRSG, One Mohammed, he had to share with us that this whole project, because he was now trying to show to us an entire plant that was built there to be able to serve as the transmission site for the CRSG line that is in alignment with the Monkofi Hydro. He said at the time we're here, his recordings are there. Several other journalists went that day. He said this project started ever since, but Liberia did not put much interest in it under the previous administration. He said that. He said, you see, several years ahead of us because they put in more time. So Liberia, we never put in much time, but we want to say thanks to the new government. And he began to hail Samuel Toye, and that of the president, said that every time they put in their proposal and said we need this, all of these things to happen, the government did not hesitate to provide that. So he said, you see where we are now today, the whole area used to be mud, but now you can see the entire plant is now built. So we are now getting now. What we're doing now is transmission lines that are now running. So you could see it stretching from Buchanan straight to Monrovia. Go along driving. So you see transmission lines are going all over. So the government of Liberia at the time invested in that component. So the only thing that is left for Joseph Boakai government now to do is the simplest thing. It's like somebody already bought you lantern. They call it, you used to call it Jago lantern, right? Jago lantern, right? Okay, somebody already bought lantern and supply it to every homes. And all you have to do now is to buy kerosene to put in the lantern. Right? So you are not going to spend money on buying lantern again and putting kerosene. Somebody already gave you lantern. So what happens in our life is that what we did was he was doing it twofold, right? We was trying to supply electricity at the same time going with transmission. So it was both about transmission and distribution. So he was doing both. We have to connect more people. We are not just connecting them, but at least we'll have to supply electricity to the homes that we are connecting. So he was doing both at the time. What this government has inherited, though they will have to do more, but what the Liberians are only asking this government to do so far is that those of us who are already connected, we need power. Because it is not your responsibility now. Your own government, no. You don't, because we get huge law already that we have. Now we need extension. The people who already have the power, they are struggling about consistency. So the extension people, they're not even hopeful for now. So the people who already have power, they don't want now worry. So the simplest thing this government will have to do is to go to Ivory Coast like they did and say, look, please supply us power because our concentration for now is to get power running. It's to get it running. That's all now because our priority for now, we just come in. So the simplest thing we need from you now is this. As to whether we'll connect more homes as compared to the previous government, no, that's not our focus for now. The people whom they connected, they are now asking that this should happen. So people will understand all of that. That's the simplest thing. That's why you pray. So when the government is connected here and there, praise them. So that tomorrow when you come there, you're not going to check all of those things anymore. No. So you see that? That's what life is all about. Let us be praying for the best for our country. We have always said that. Even under the Joseph Boakai administration that I have no faith, nothing in, I still pray that we must pray for the best for our country. It doesn't matter, no matter how anybody thinks, because tomorrow it's the same thing. And we don't want to be in the vicious cycle of pulling people down and pulling down. No, that's not what we got to crave for. In all we do, we can express our anger. Lord, you don't have to get vexed for people to pay for ungratefulness. No, you don't have to do anything. They will pay for it by themselves. And the happiness will tell by itself. You don't have to play any part in the happiness. It will happen by itself. You don't have to play any part in it. Because there is always a reward for good. There is always a reward for bad. And when that's ready to happen, you don't have to do anything for it to happen. It will just happen. If God wants to use different person for it to happen, it will happen. Right? So don't hear all these things there. I just want, and that your business can't ask me that question then be talking your thing and you rousing thing and for that thing. And but what if I don't believe in Joseph Boakai? Why Joseph Boakai can make me to believe in him? I'm forced to believe in him. Why he can make me to believe in him? I don't tell you say I will never believe in him. I say I don't believe in him. So why he can make me to believe in him now? Is that bad thing? What has he done so far that I will start believing in him? I don't just believe in him. And that's just it. So it's left with him now to convince me. Me, I'm not a bad person, yo. And that's somebody who will sit down and get hard, say, no, he ain't doing nothing. The moment the power was coming, ask everybody in my community, I said, oh, but the JB, don't bring it led now. I was celebrating that one. Until I started making rounds, they said, no, in not the case, or the situation stay the same. So when he bring power and consistent, we'll tell you, say, thank you, Mr. President, for bringing power. At least we get that one now consistent. Let's look to the next level. We'll tell you, thank you. When good thing happen, we'll pray. No, for some of us, we are patriots. So as patriot, we don't owe loyalty to any political party or individual. We owe it to the country. So anything good that happens for the country, that person tends to get our commendations for that. That's why our own level of criticisms don't go void of what preferring of suggestions to tell you what ought to happen, because we are patriots. We'll tell you, say, that is what you're supposed to have done. That is what you should do. Because we know that if you do what's supposed to be done, we'll benefit. So we're not yet telling you, say, oh, move for here. The thing you're doing not good. Or this, that, they want bad. It's say bad, good. How it's supposed to be for which you are telling me now is bad. You don't have any idea. All you do, you condemn. No, we don't just condemn. For some of us, we don't just condemn. We will condemn you and then try to proffer suggestions. If you want to take it, you take it. If you want to help grow, you will grow yourself, because we'll always criticize you. And our criticism is constructive because it goes with what? Suggestions, with advice. The pieces of advice will give you till you don't want to be stubborn, you go by, you will become a better person. You will become a better person. It doesn't matter who you're taking it from. Who cares? In the end, even if Joseph Boakai listens to AB and perform wonders in this country, now who they will give the credit to, that AB or that Joseph Boakai? They will say honor Joseph Boakai administration. They will not say honor AB advisory administration or this, that. No, they will say, so that the one thing about advisors, they will say what they want to say, whether that they don't want preparing it for you. Nobody cares about them when the good things are happening. They wouldn't tell people even look at them and start blaming them maybe when bad things happening, to the extent that people may not know that as an advisor, whatever you are saying to the advisee is somebody who might either accept it or reject it. But in the end, when bad things happen, they say that the advisor didn't do that one. But when good things happening, they don't praise the advisor or that they praise who what. So if you were to take our suggestions that we'll always have, proffering suggestions, what you ought to do as a president, we are not just here to be shouting all over the place. Oh yeah, we just condemning. No, we don't do that. So you see, and so somebody is telling me that there is fire incident in the New Georgia Gulf community. There was a fire incident sometimes back, just about hours ago in the. So welcome, and we pray that something is said and done about it. We don't have stable electricity yet, and the fire incidences are all over the place. What more were to have stable electricity in this country? What will be happening? We don't know. By the way, welcome to the program, and the Freedom Cash giveaway continues right here. And thanks to DTV Online and other radio stations that feed it fixable to carry on this broadcast. And so we are forever grateful for that. And we are certainly getting there. And so we will certainly get there, no matter what the circumstances are. So a lot of things are happening. Freedom Cash giveaway. We are at 10 now, not 11. So when you go star and 7 on our hash, when you press on, we will continue to give money. And there's no one who comes to freedom and listen, and everybody just go by the same. Some people will have to go back blessed. So we think for sure we are certainly getting there, right? So nobody comes and go back the same. In fact, not everybody who comes and go back exactly the same. Other people will go, other people will be blessed. And I think it's fantastic for all of us, and we are certainly getting there. So no matter what the circumstances are, we are getting there, right? So the cash giveaway continues tonight. So I'm going to do the draws and call up winners as well tonight on this very die. So keep playing, and others are winning. You can also win. Don't give up. Never ever give up. And you have to continue on that path and continue to do what you can. They get the winners, they get the losers prize that they will obviously come up with. So we are certainly getting there. It is star 799 hash. Then you go, you hit at 11, at 10, sorry. Then you see freedom there, you hit on. So I'll keep reminding you, and we'll do some draws. Let's see what I can do. Just 1, 2, 3, something quickly. Let's see. All right. So yeah, we are back at 2005, right? So, and thank God my own people, then at least some of them are now telling me, some of them I did not want to believe it. Yeah, they can now see, they say, oh yeah, that's true, you're talking about. I heard about 2 people. What made you think you get bad luck? Nobody has bad luck. Nobody has bad luck. Even as I speak now, I just click on the button, about 20 persons already got something. 20 persons already. Could you imagine? Just within a split period, 20 persons already receive alerts. And I think they should have that now, the 2005. All right, so I think we are getting there. And someone is telling me, yeah, Patrick Nukugwanu is saying we are still at 11 and not 10. Yeah, so where you see freedom, just go there. You know, someone is saying that they're going to be protesting at the U.S. Embassy. Is Jeremiah L. Tayuwe Jr.? He says what? He said, AB, we will be protesting at the U.S. Embassy as soon as possible. We are asking the United States government to stop Liberians from playing TV because Liberians are now enjoying their country resources equally. Okay, we don't want DV in our country. That's the campaign. How you go protest to stop people from getting DV? How you say that? You can't. Ah, God. You guys are funny. You guys see the pool, what? Is there? Oh, protest at the embassy to say they must stop Liberians from playing DV for what? I would tell you that one. How that won't work. I beg you, yeah. You see, we even giving Freedom Cash giveaway to be helping people they got trouble, but they don't play DV. And so I think we are still at 11. That's what others are saying right here. So we are still at 11. You can have that happening. And we are getting there. And so it is star 799 hash. Then when you hit it, boom, it will take you to 11 and you find freedom right there. That's what I'm hearing. So I think we are certainly getting there, and we will get there. Comrade Asset Jackson had wanted to call in. Let me see here. Sorry, I want to get this mine. I want to show you something. 3 things I will talk about. I could skip on some. 1, the war crimes court issue. Something strange is happening. I will tell you about that. The reason I'm trying to table it because I wanted to show something to people, because I've done certain research and I wanted to share with you my perspective on the research that is backed by law. So I wanted to show you that one. But something happened today, yesterday, which is not good for our country. Like I was saying on yesterday, I think I will continue on our path today on something. Then on the Ministry of State, action to lay off over 700 Liberians who were on supplementary payroll. Now we got the audio of the Deputy Minister for Administration in Colonial Cooper. We got her stuff, and we are going to play it so that you truly and surely listen to her. As so whatever she may have told anyone outside of this recording, I'm not aware of it, but could be true that she may have said some things, because other people say, oh, she said she now want to see any sedition, that one there, that the recording now will play on the day before the incident occurred right there. So I will try to share with you what it is so that you get it, which is very much important for all of us. I will play that here, and we will deal with that. Then you will listen to her keenly. Sorry, not kindly. Keenly. Then you will listen to her. I think I talk something. So, Colonial Crash stuff, certain thing that happened. I will talk about that one. I'll come in there. But let me just try to get to some of the people who already munching some cash already. Let me just get them on so that you can get them. You see, the country is an interesting country, and they listening now, but they not get small money in their pocket. All the listening now will go some kind of way for them. Anyway, that's life. It can happen. It can happen. So the person here, hey, I think I missed out on some numbers. Okay, so I think we are getting there. Yeah. So 042. Here we go. We hit the button. All right. So that is it. Maybe we can say bunting. Yeah, maybe we can talk about me. All right. So that is it right here on this very die. We are certainly getting there. I just need a text. We are certainly getting there. We are getting there. But the person here said, you know, you are collecting, and we are getting there. That is very much important for all of us. Wow. So you see there. So this person phone rings and it's just off. So let me get on to the next person. I don't have time because I have enough to discuss tonight. Right here now as we speak. And I'm also expecting Isaac Jackson. And I will come on. And we think for sure, okay, we are certainly getting there. We will certainly get there. And I so we are certainly getting there. Yeah. So I think we will get there. That one is life. So we are getting there. We are getting there. So 2885. Some of you can already know your number. So when you even calling this, you can know that your number are calling. But if you're getting it, something already said, not like the 30,000 or something like that, where we got to call you. You say if you get what? Hello, how you doing? Oh, that small person. Hello, how you doing? Hello, how you doing? Sorry, you sound is very small. Your name?
My name is Clarion Dede.
You listening to Freedom FM and Face the Issues? Clarion Dede? Yeah. Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Clara, are you listening to me? Okay, good. Now I'm asking you whether you are listening to Radio Nana as we speak.
Yes.
Which radio station are you listening to, and what sort of program is on now?
Freedom FM 87.9.
And what kind of program on now? Huh? Face the issue. Okay, so I want to know something, and you sounded you sounded like a kid. But anyway, let's forget about that. Did you play Freedom Cash giveaway just now on the program? Okay, how many times you played? 3 times. Can you imagine? Okay, that's good. Have you ever won before since we started doing this on the station? Have you received any message just now that told you that you won some 2005? Wow, congratulations. Thank you so much. Your name again? Clarion Dede. Going to school? Which class? And which class? Every. You see your 8th grader winning, you get small thing there. What they call. And what's your age? Huh? You say what? May 16 will be making you 11 years and you are in 8th grade. Could you imagine? God is wonderful. Thank you so much. And we appreciate you. Congratulations. Dele. All right. I like that. This country. Can you imagine that? Cherry all winning, your BB people they are sitting down there. Wow, that's great. And we are certainly getting there. And of course, thanks so much. So we'll do more of this as we go on. Just a kid playing this as well this time and age. Do you imagine that? Anyway, we are getting there. And we'll certainly get there no matter what the circumstances are. Right? We will certainly get there. So I just thought to do that so that you know it. But I'll call on the rest of few people so that we have that happening right here on this very day. 11th. Then 8th grade. Could you imagine that? All right, so folks, we are about to have these discussions here, which of course is very much important for our country. Keep playing, and I think we are at 11, like people said. No. I didn't say only 200 can play now. No, we are back to where we were, where you only need more than 100 LD in your phone to play. And you need more than 70 cents in your phone to play. And it has to be a Lone Star Cell MTM number. That's what I said. So we are not back to that. And I think it's good for all of us. I want to say thanks to all of you. Keep playing, winners. And I think it's good for all of us. We are certainly getting there and we will get there. All right. So let's continue these discussions here, which is very much important for us. We are very happy, first of all, that we are here this day doing what we think we can do for our country. And no matter what the circumstances are, we Liberians, we are certainly getting there and we will get there. So we will try our best to inform you of happenings in your country. And we will also try our best, like we have been trained to do, to avoid any temptation that will lead us into disappointing you or making you shame. We will not do that. It is just by the grace of God that we are here. Anybody can fall. And by your prayers. So we are very grateful that we are here tonight to work on a lot of things. 2 things I would like to clear on quickly, then I get to the recording. I will play that recording and you will listen to the Deputy Minister for Administration of the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs. Today we got the news that our ANC brother, who lately supported President George Weah, who was recommended by the current Justice Minister. Because the thing about the legal profession, whether you like it or not, you go or you come down, we don't have time for too much politics. It doesn't matter. Boga Lege say he appoint anybody as judge. That judge not going to be running the court on political ground. The law does not have any respect or maybe regard or taking into consideration political alignment or so forth. The court sees anyone who appears there and that's it. The law is what we are going to go by. So on the basis of that and the kind of work the young man had done over the period, which of course I respect him for, that young man has been very robust. That man worked at the Justice Ministry as a prosecutor. He started even attacking Serena Cephas. He was working in Serena's office. He started attacking Serena Cephas. He was still in the opposition and serving as prosecutor. And he was attacking Serena Cephas. There were statements and positions that the government made at the time. This brother was always there speaking against the Weah administration. He left the office of Serena Cephas because there was a beef between him and Serena Cephas. He still stayed as a prosecutor. And despite him having problem with some of the decisions and positions that were taken by the CDC, that which he could voice out on radio stations. Lafia Good, Councillor Lafia Good, very objective. He expressed all of those. And despite all of that, as he was being practically seen as one aligning with the opposition, when he saw that the Gloria Mususka case was one that was justiciable and there were plausible cause for indictment, he was one of the prosecutors on that team. Bobby Livingstone, who is also one of those persons who had always aligned with the Unity Party, was also a member of the prosecutorial team. Today, the election is over. We return to where we are to say, look, we are back to basics, where professionals will have to respect their role as professionals and put politics aside so that we can move this country forward. That young man was nominated as I think Bishop Matthew. Yeah, Bishop, I already announced it. Wow, the horse that I'm talking about, the horse that I'm talking about that got burned and that is on fire in New Georgia Gulf is Bishop Matthew Gore's house, and that my daughter Joyce D.K. Williams' grandfather's house in New Georgia Gulf is what he's saying, that the horse is on fire. So fire service, please try to make your way there and see to it that you do something about it, please. Please, you have to hurry there. So I think for sure we are certainly getting there. And so we are really craving for an emergency there currently in the New Georgia Gulf area for a horse that is currently on fire. It's in New Georgia Gulf. So when you go through New Georgia Estate, you pass through and go straight towards the Gulf. I think currently the scene there will be able to tell you that something is happening there. So if there's any fire service somewhere around, see, do we have an active fire service substation there? You can make your way to the New Georgia Gulf where the horse is currently on fire there. All right. So please, we need that there quickly. Please. Yes, I'm making the announcement in the New Georgia Gulf. I'm making the announcement, and I'm doing all I can to make sure that the announcement is made. Yeah. I think it's good that we are certainly getting there. All right. So please, fire service, please do what you can. Yeah, so that we can have not much damage to be done at that place. Yeah, please. All right, so this guy, like I was saying, name was recalled. Why? Though, while it is true that people are perfecting their clause that was in the first draft document of the CPP, by saying that only known, visible, and anybody who against the Unity Party will never get a job in this country. Why we get all of that? This brother is being taken off that job as Assistant Minister for Litigation because he participated and was one of the prosecutors in the Gloria Mususka case. So they said, no, he can't go there. Remember, that case is currently at the Supreme Court. The Ministry of Justice that heads the prosecutorial team on behalf of government that led and, of course, preached, and there was conviction held against the former Chief Justice. That team is supposed to go defend and pray with their actions and all those things here and there. You never know. At the Supreme Court, Boakai visited that lady at the Supreme Court, at the prison facility. The Unity Party took over that case. It was almost like opposition versus ruling establishment. At the time, the CDC was in ruling establishment position, because there were elements within the ruling establishment then that were attacked. Then there were elements who were pro-opposition led by Joseph Yuma Boakai, and they went to prison facilities accusing the CDC government of being the mastermind of that thing and trying to rub things around this lady. Now the very people who did not believe in what was happening now, they are now in power. So they believe that those persons who may have mustered the courage to say the application of the law is all that must take its course, they are now being haunted. Because in the end, they either want to play any team or whatever it is to let that lady free. Because if you carry frivolous defense before the Supreme Court, that's the law. So you have now gone there. So if you don't put up good case before the Supreme Court, the court may like that lady to go. And the court will only be doing that now because XYZ happened, but it's because you couldn't just justify your actions. Because there were instances where a lot of things that they will now bring up and say there is XYZ that happened during the course of the trial. The judge will do XYZ, then they say, okay, you know what? Remand the case. You'll go back for new trial, go back, or they will set the lady free. Why they didn't go for this? All the kind of thing. Who then going to be doing it? The people that Lafia Guden, who will be in a position of assisting minister of litigation, they have to be going to the Supreme Court. So you don't want those kind of people there. It also undermines the credit and the power of the judiciary in the wake of democracy, constitutional democracy, where the law is ruling. It undermines that element, which is very much key. Because you will now have prosecutors who will be scared to take up cases, or who will be scared to say things, or let honor we are where good and could say what they want to say. They stay in their positions and nobody touch them. In fact, though Gu was an opposition man, but the CDC under their administration, they still trusted his judgment to say he's able to go into this case and demonstrate why it is. First species in Prince Mamba, they took him from the Liberia National Police. Why? Because of some of these things. So you see, honor people. You see, this is a country that we are now heriting honor Joseph Yuma Boakai. When people decided to be conscious of the law and decided to be more patriotic to the country and decided to be one that's serving the state, then other than a party or individual, you tend to be punished for that. So as a result, now I know why some of you are telling me that AB, be careful, you know the country is small. The country is small what? That job business, you say the country is small. If nobody want to give me a job, I get time for that thing. Because most of the guys who are saying AB, the country is small, the country is small. Oh, when I walk up to your door, I'm qualified to get a job, and because of something that I'm convinced at, that you yourself know that you did was wrong, that I spoke against, because of that you want to punish me, take your job. I have no time. Because I want to control, yeah, be a country small, the country small, country small. I want to be telling you nothing else. The country is small, you know the country is small. This that, be careful. The country, look at that kind of thing. Because people craving for government jobs. I don't just say jobs, so government jobs. So now you're going to have a weak prosecutorial system where people will be very scared to take up some cases because they know it has political repercussions. So politics will now instill fear in law. And when politics instill fear in law, then law will be scared to take its course. Law will be scared to rule. So the law will not rule. Because the idea is politics will build fear. Because the action being taken here is clearly political. There's no legal basis of that. The man is a Liberian. He has his right to affiliate with any political party. And if he's a lawyer, you're not going to look at cases and this, that, here, and there, whatever. No, it doesn't matter. So you're going to deny him. Now, for Bobby Livingstone, I think he's going to the Ministry of Information as Deputy Minister for Public Affairs, something like that. That is something he always wanted. So it is easier for them to accommodate Bobby Livingstone because he's not on our path. All right. So I think that is easy for them to do that. I think it's very much okay. So Like I told you, there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, but I'm hearing, and my door is being, and so, like I told you, I wanted to entertain Isaac Jackson, or he could speak to some issues of national concerns. You know, if I get job to do, so I can't be too certain about him, so I can't be too hopeful in announcing him until he tells me that he's ready. Yeah. Then send the stuff. They got want to talk some things. So I think for Isaac's sake, let me see here. So I wanted to talk something about the War Crimes Court, Colonel Crash statement. I wanted to play that, but I'll just jump in. So let me see whether I can invite Isaac. Then we can do the other talking. And tomorrow, I will suspend it tomorrow. I'll postpone it. We'll suspend it. So all the talking points here, I will certainly suspend them for tomorrow. You will hear from me tomorrow. Just want to do that so that you get me. Because when I'm talking, I talk like. All right, we are certainly getting there. This country is an interesting country. All right, so I think let me try to send this thing to Isaac so that you get it. Let me see. Let me go play one fine song. But hey man, I'm not gonna block but here business that the fine song here like it's a worship house for they say Africa for Jesus and worship house. 1.4 million views. Could you imagine that? Wow, these people are not easy the worship house. But I found something. Let me just play it as a break and I'm gonna be right back. Go on here, right here tonight on this very day. You know, sometimes and all right. So and I think I will certainly get there. And Robertson Momo, y'all wait, y'all leave the thing here. And Isaac were here to come on. And I said, but again, I was just trying to tell you guys something, which of course was very much fantastic. I think we are getting there for it. Two things are at stake as we speak. On the issue of the War and Economic Crimes Court. Today, activities at the lower house was disrupted due to this whole thing about War Crimes Court. I understood Fonatico for T-shirt, orange T-shirt, which indicates War and Economic Crimes Court. And we saw lawmakers saying that they will wait. And you get called about a team. They all had those T-shirts on today at the National Legislature, and Councillor Fonati Kofa, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, had an orange tie, you know, as well, and in working, and it's very much good, you know. I'm seeing them pushing it, and what they are now doing, they are pressuring the Liberian Senate to act on what they passed on. And there are news that some folks within the Liberian Senate, especially the chair on our committee, I think about chair or something like that, they are still having it and they are trying to review it. And they want to put some changes there. Other committee members perhaps are calling on him to leave it as it is. Leave it untouched. And present it, then they pass on it. Now, the typical situation that when they pass on it, at the Senate to concur with the lower house on that issue, it will be sent to the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Jeremiah Kwankun, before he can affix his signature. Then it departs the legislature. It now goes to the what? The president. Then the president can now start acting on it. They will draft something as to the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court, as to XYZ, how it needs to be done. Something will be drafted and will be sent forth as to the formalities leading to the establishment of the court. Then certainly we are getting there. So in the wake of all of that, we don't know whether the executive is mustering that will. And one thing I know for sure is that Chris Smith, who have been pushing for the War Crimes Code and sanction champion in chief, and who have been sanctioning people in this country, he himself is now pushing towards it. Some elements within the United States government, they are pushing towards it and wanting this War Crimes Court. Now, I'm a bit confused about the political will of the executive. The reason I'm saying this is that the reason I'm saying this is because Joseph Boakai, with the exception of the time he mentioned about the War Crimes Code in his fintech-driven inaugural ceremony, he did not mention that again during his State of the Nation address, his sonal address, until people in his area or elements within America, including Adam White and so forth, they had to pressure him into coming up with a video. Now, when that came up, and people now heard Boakai committing himself to the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court, the press office of the president distanced the president to that and said that that video was doctored, meaning the political will of the president. Something is not just right. So many Boakai had never wanted that. So to see that the next time with this kind of bickering about whether Boakai wanted, Boakai not wanted, and the press office saying that no, that video there, not that because they wanted to print. Even if you were to ask Prince Johnson said the president's office informed Prince Johnson that that video there, not anything that Prince Johnson must take serious, because that thing that they just play with that video. Despite us hearing Boakai talking about it, and Allen was sitting right there. So it now shows that Boakai was not too sure about this whole War Crimes Court. Later on, the lower house picked it up. They ran with it. So it appears something is not just right. So perhaps the lower house is still sensing some game being played. That's why they resurrected the case and said that, look, we'll now pressure our colleagues to concur with us on that. If they don't want it, they should say it, but they must take an action on it. So, coupled with pressure from the diplomatic circle here and there, it would tell us. So, other people within the Senate, they are saying that, look, Abachi, let us pass on this and place it on Boakai's lap. Let us place it on Boakai's lap. This is what he campaigned on. This is what they said they wanted. No, he didn't campaign on this, sorry. But that is what they had always called for at the time they were in opposition. So the opportunity is theirs now to effect it. Because they said we didn't want to do it. Now they are in a position now to do it. So why we can't allow that to happen? So that is where the noise coming from. So a bit confusion somewhere. Somebody somewhere is not mustering the will to make it to work. And I think if elements in Washington, I still want to believe that there are some elements who are doing this thing on their own. But whichever way it is, and I said Jackson has coming. So we'll suspend this issue of a colonial crash statement, and I will leave it for tomorrow. Then we'll come back on it on tomorrow. So as Isaac Jackson has already hit us in studio, so we're going to have him here tonight, and we will certainly get there. We will certainly get there. So I think W. Jackson just joined us, and so we
thank you, man.
Tonight, and
thank you, brother.
But yeah, what are y'all doing?
Hey, yeah, thank you, brother, for having me, man. Let me say good afternoon, absolutely, to Liberians and friends of Liberia that are following your show. I understand you have the PKS platform in Liberia, and I thank you for that. You've been making enormous effort to be at the stage you are, and I applaud you for everything you're doing for our country. Thank you for having me, brother.
I know.
Yeah, thank you, brother. You're a good brother, man. You're a strong brother. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. And always watching, and that's good. And I spend it with us. This here tonight to talk about non issues of national concerns. No matter where we are, Liberia is our heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Those path, which is very much good for all of us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's good. All right, so a couple of issues from the last time we hosted you, and until now, a lot of things have happened, and ranging from the issue about the sincereness, the sincere nature on the part of the the current president or the current regime to muster the courage, especially the president, the executive, the presidency, and to have the issue of the War and Economic Crimes Court established. And we also had an issue about what appears to be the bribe that came from the executive mansion, from the Ministry of State, to some lawmakers in the tune of 4,500 for them to go and get furniture at a specific furniture shop, showroom. So these are things that have been popping up. And we also have the issue about the asset recovery team, how they have been pursuing. Currently, the Supreme Court is looking into some issues relating to prohibition filed by some people who believe that their private properties were invaded by the asset recovery team, trespassing was done, and so forth. We are looking at all of that as well. And this country is where we are, and a lot of things are unfolding. But again, key amongst those are just things that are just listed right here. And we'll talk about some issues of national concern. But those are just key issues, and I know you must have been following while you are there. And your perspective on these national issues count, especially in the wake of where our country is. We can keep, checkmating our government to put the country in a place where we think we expect our country to be, especially when we've made a change, and that change is expected to bring us success, progress, and not retrogression. So those are the things I call you on here tonight, so that we can talk. Yeah.
No, thank you, Godson. And I sure lovers of Liberia and Liberians who genuinely love their country will also be passionate about some of the things you just eloquently catalog. One of the reasons why Liberia experienced the 14 years of civil war was because of the flagrant and blatant disregard for the supremacy of the rule of law.
Okay.
Something that we now see happening in present day Liberia. I was a bit impressed with Senator Kone, who, even though a supporter of Mr. Bouakai, has also highlighted the repetition compulsion. It's where regime repeat past mistakes, and they're thinking that by repeating past mistakes, they will make progress. It's a fool's paradise to believe in that. And I think one of the things he pointed to is the manner in which Mr. Bouakai, who happens to be a deacon of the Baptist Church, undermined, women empowerment when he blatantly, flagrantly violated the tenure law at NASCOP. It's one thing to do these things with people of our gender, male. But when you start going after a weaker vessel, then it's a problem for the country. The vast majority of our women in Liberia, though educated, but most of them are underprivileged, they're not in the working place. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, so, sorry. So, if you have a president who is not sensitive and will make a woman unemployed deliberately for that woman exercising the courage to stand up to wrong, it's a crying shame for a deacon in the Baptist Church. And you see, this is something that Mr. Bouakai should have guarded against. But he has no respect for the law. Bouakai announced during his inaugural address, and I think the State of the Union, that he was going to appoint an ombudsman so that controversy coming out of tenure issue or the violations of the code of conduct, that person will address. Today, Bouakai has not named that very important person who is supposed to give currency to the strength of our democracy. And so Bouakai today, he's an accuser, and the judge and the arbiter. In law, it's not possible. You can't accuse me of violating the law You the same man who accused me of violating 10 law because I wore t-shirt. You are the same man dismissing me and replacing me with somebody else who wore t-shirt. And one of the only reasons why Bwaka will dismiss the lady at NASCA and leave her bossman in place is because the bossman, who is Bambamus, is on record for supporting for Ben Rodin Bwaka last trip to London. I was in London and representing Liberia. I saw Mr. Bambamus in London with Mr. Bwaka and Ben Rodin that trip. In fact, I was on that trip when they arrived in London, and I joined Bwaka to go to Arsenal Page doing his lecture. He was doing his lecture. He took time to go to Arsenal. I think he's a supporter of Arsenal. He went to Arsenal Page. And Bambamu was there and Ben Rodin Bwaka. Only because Bambamu Ben Rodin Bwaka then, Bambamu remains in good graces with Bwaka, not the young lady.
Yeah, was that? And Bwaka was still a political leader?
Yeah, Bwaka then, you know, it was during the, I think the earlier days of the 2017. But I'm just trying to tell you that there is a relationship that Bambamu established with Mr. Bwaka in 2017. That's why Mr. Bambamu remains in good graces with Mr. Bwaka, for which this lady who was taking instruction from Bambamu is now the person who has been affected by Bwaka's action, and Bambamu remains in good standing with Bwaka. He said he remains, I think, secretary to the board or something like that. Now, if I am taking instruction from my boss man, and you dismiss me and keep my boss man there, what are you doing? Is that what leadership is? You don't go to the source of the quote-unquote gross insubordination. The woman will not have shown gross insubordination if she has not taken instruction from her boss man, Bambamus. But this is the new Liberia, where Bwaka is supposed to cover himself in shame for honor-minded female empowerment, women empowerment. That man here, he's still marching around the country and even trying to now deceive the international community. Bwaka is not genuine about the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court. And I know our international partner will soon see through the scheme. It is a scheme. He's not authentic. He put the thing on the table as a way of blindfolding people. And this is not the way we expect our country to be run. You know, when Bwaka started this campaign, the major issues that was surrounding Bwaka, that were hovering over his head, was an issue of corruption. Abraham Darrow Dillon, a non-score in the Senate, posted on Facebook that Bwaka was dismissed by the PRC government for corruption. So that issue of corruption kept hovering over Bwaka's head. Today, Bwaka is not even convincing the Liberian people that he is not as corrupt as the PRC government saw him, for which he was dismissed. He is now taking political money and financing people, which is an act of bribery, so that they do things that are undesirable. It's a problem. It's a problem. When the Minister of State uses his office to do illegal business, gave lawmaker money, induced them so that they remove the speaker. Yeke Koluba is our living witness, another supporter of Bwaka, who is very displeased like Amarakone. It's in public record for saying they gave me this money here, so we will remove the speaker. This is not a way for the country to be run. It is not the way for us to do business. When Bwaka started up, President Bwaka, when he started up, one of the things we're advocating for, we rehabilitate the roads. How much effort has Bwaka made to rehabilitate the road right near his house? Right in Masorado County, have they started any effort on the road? Have they done anything about the massive complaint of our people, poor people, civil servants, who were looking up to them for increment in the salary that was being harmonized? Has Bwaka done something about that? No. But Bwaka is looking for money all over the place to give to lawmakers who are already taking pay because he want to remove Funati Kofa. Funati Kofa is supposed to be a crewman. And Bouaka doesn't let crew people say he hate Wia. He ain't let crew people. He want to move the man. The man a crewman. You got to move him. This is Bouaka. And that's what one of the major things that Bouaka was confronted with during his campaign, that he was vindictive and he was tribalistic. He was a bearer of deep-seated grudges. He ain't let crew people. You see, there are two reasons why the Liberian people mistakenly brought Bouaka to power. And one of the reasons was the deep-seated hatred for Wia. Some people hated Wia so much that they could not find it in their spirit, in their God-given judgment, to give Wia a second chance. For some of us who are Bible believing Christians, we say, yeah, we have made some mistake, but let's give him second chance, he will improve upon the mistake. But some of the people know they were unforgiving. They hated the man so much that they decided to embrace a sick 80-year-old man who has no stamina to move anything. So the country is now stagnated. The country is not moving. The country is sitting down now. Nothing happening in the country. In fact, Bouaka is so impaired or frail cognitively to the extent that he needs two people to one position. Ellen Johnson said he did not make that kind of mistake. Because when you start appointing people, you create your database. You can't put one man to triple RC and need two people to triple RC to be the head. Two people can be head of one institution. It's a sign of what? Cognitive frailty, cognitive impairment. He's forgetting things. He's not writing things down. He's not in charge of things. It's a problem. That's why we said to the Liberian people that this anger you get against Wia, this bitterness against Wia, for we you're embracing Bouaka will not help you. The other thing that they brought Bouaka to power is the lies that they constructed. The Unity Party whole campaign was constructed upon lies. Anything that is built on lies will fall apart. Anything built on lies will fall apart. The lies were that Bouaka was in excellent health and he could move things. Today, it is evidential that he's not in excellent health. And as such, he cannot run our country the way we want the country to be run. This is the problem we're dealing with now. This is the problem we are dealing with. What is he doing about civil service? Poor people voted for you. They can't get food to eat. The country is awash with poverty. What effort is Bouaka making to wage war? Even on the corruption that we talk about, there's not much effort because the effort is counterproductive. The man he needs to be the head of the ART is also violating standing legal concept.
You mean the asset recovery? We'll get to the asset recovery aspect, and we'll tend to talk about that subsequently on the issue of the asset recovery. But I think two things you touched on has to do with the tenure positions stuff. Currently, a series of prohibitions have been filed to the Supreme Court, and they're looking into the matters. So the hearings are done so that we know exactly what it is. But what if the Supreme Court were to come up with rulings that will favor the petitioners? And in that case, and Bouaka still insists that he will pay off these people because he doesn't want to work with them. What do you think that will mean for us? Is there anything that
if Bouaka were to make that unwise decision, as he have always done, because Bouaka decisions are always ill-judged, as we eloquently just highlighted the issue with NASCA. If he were to do that, he will be signing his own death certificate, metaphorically speaking. Because, brother, civil service are poor people. The vast majority of people who are in our civil service, they are poor people.
Okay.
Some of them were angry with the WIA government because they said the salary was harmonized. And so if you do not give priority to their needs and their concern, and you decide to take money from their hands and put it in the hands of people who are big shot, Because this thing about giving people 10 new jobs in Liberia is about creating a court of big shot. People who are 10 new positions, they don't ride a Peugeot, they ride expensive cars, the air conditioned cars, they want to be buses. That's why some of the flunkies who supported Bouaka, they are going for the 10 new job because they won't be secure for a long period of time. But like I was saying, a Bouaka meant to have a legacy. He meant to be a good leader. He had announced that he was going to appoint the ombudsman. It will be the ombudsman, in keeping with our law, that will pass judgment on whether or not this person who was in tenure position violated that position, that tenure, by whatever thing the person did. It can't be Bouaka who will say, oh, I saw you in t-shirt, so I will remove you and put my own t-shirt man there. The person can say, look, but the t-shirt I saw me in, it was camera trick, it's not me. Or the person will have an argument to make. Our law says before you condemn, you are hearing judgment consistent with what? Due process of law. How do you get hearing judgment consistent with due process of law when there is no ombudsman that's supposed to preside over the hearings? So, Bouaka, the first thing he's going to do, he haven't done it. He's violating the law. So, if the court were to overturn whatever he's doing and he remain arrogant and say he will buy all these 10 new people, then it means he has no fear for God and for poor people. And if you are a political person and you don't care for poor people's needs, then you sign your own, metaphorically speaking, death certificate. Because the poor people elected you, the poor people still in the land, and your first call to duty. All of us who come to politics, what do we talk about? We come to politics firstly because we want to serve poor people. The country has a meager resources, small resources. How do we divide the small resources that poor people will benefit? That's our branding call for public office. That's why we come to politics. If you come to politics and your call is not to serve poor people, but to create a court of bishop, like Bouaka is bent on doing, forcing people to get 10 new jobs when other people have not completed, then you sign your own, metaphorically speaking, death certificate. Because the poor people will stand up and protest against the administration. But the administration got no human being feeling. Look at our LU, University of Liberia. Today, the country is suffering for intellectual. And I did a piece just today in response to that non-score in the Senate. And I said, this man, we can't even want to come. But let me, I'm saying this in passing, right? When I talk about intellectual, I'm saying,
you know, because
I know, but let me say this. I want to elevate this conversation. Let me say this, right? The country has a dire need of intellect. And I pointed to this fellow and say, this man is typical. In other words, he's an exemplar of what can happen to a country in abject moral decline or intellectual decline. Our country is in intellectual decline. That's why we see the flunkies who have not even passed high school properly serving as senator and cannot articulate anything intelligently. So we're supposed to invest in education. Why is the University of Liberia? Has it open? I don't know.
It's open, it's functional, yeah.
Are we investing in that seriously? Do we have quality teachers? The WIA program was a free education. How much are they doing about that? Bouaka has not done anything to elevate the status of the teacher there. He has not said anything progressive along those lines. What he's doing, what is the vision for education in the country? Nothing. He goes to the place there. Say he was trying to take a drug test. Yes. But brother, the real thing that confronted you during the campaign was that Mr. Bouaka, you were tribalistic. Amara Kone, I'm quoting him today because he been saying some sensible things. He said Bouaka said the issue of the country were being represented on his cabinet. Amara reminded, he said, Bouaka, this is the first violation of the thing you promised the Liberian people. He said the countries are going to be represented on your cabinet. We don't see anybody from ground crew. You just defeated a crewman, and you're so angry still that you can't even have a crew person on the cabinet, or not even an opposition figure in the cabinet. What is Bouaka doing? Bouaka comes from a background of progressive politics, and Kofi, who is there, you should remind him. Gabriel Bacchus Matthews, one of his advocates in Liberian politics was what? The inclusion of opposition figure in the executive governance of the country. Today, Bouaka, who's supposed to be somebody who comes from progressive background, he see opposition people as black snake because the people around him putting poison in his ear. That all the opposition people supposed to hate him. People who did not vote for him supposed to be enemies.
Yeah, but
you cannot develop this country along those lines.
Deep-seated grudges, and so
Yes.
it is personal as well. It's not about his environment influencing him. He personally has that. But
Absolutely. But you see, the leader already have that, and it's confirmed by people around him. Say, for example, recent time. Let me draw this recent parallel with your situation. You are running a very credible radio station. You send your reporter to EPS to cover a story. The EPS people deny the journalist asset and gave a coded threatening message that they have a package for you. When you alarm about it, and overzealous colleagues, former colleagues of yours, instead of calling for an investigation into the matter, what did he say? He was dismissed because he tried to please the leader he followed. He was dismissed. In Liberia, let's go back we may want to go to Taylor, right? But even if we went to Taylor and saw what Taylor Hinchman did to journalists in our country, anybody who served as Mika, you serve at Mika, and you want any credibility, your first language will be, let's investigate what the journalists say. You can't be dismissing what the journalists say. I know, I'm not in Liberia, but I know the way you have preached for your country, you have spoken for your country, God said, your station, the way you have advocated for pluralistic democracy, free press. I know it anger people. People are angry with you. And some EPS people who are not clear-headed and clear thinking are angry with you. So how can somebody who just got knee, he's not confirmed, the man who are trying to report to you, not confirmed, but he dismissing your view. This is what they call overzealousness, void of logic. If you raise something, you are a journalist. Zeno Miller, is that not a thing EPS people that beat Zeno Miller, even though Zeno Miller have pre-existing medical condition, but who hasten the process? Not EPS. So if EPS who don't understand things, if they are angry and they say, God sent, we will bring package for you. The EPS not going to divide candy to your station. They're not going to divide cookie. What package do they have for you? And you alarm. And somebody at Mika who is not even confirmed, looking for confirmation and saying it is missing your view. These are some of things to come. That young brother who Amika, who is happy to be assistant minister, our deputy minister, they say, oh, man, who they deputy minister, just blasting everybody. You just assistant minister, you're not confirmed yet. You're the one now, you're not even interested in investigation and dismissing the whole station view. Is it the new Liberia we want to build? You saw lawyers, the first thing in lawyering, let investigators matter. In journalistic ethics, investigation, how can they make come from these two backgrounds? Journalist and lawyer, but still is not interested in investigation, even though your station is alleging that your colleagues, your reporters were threatening. They were giving coded messages that they were saying a package for your EPS, they carry guns. They don't carry cookies and candy and divide with journalists that they are angry with or journalists that are not supportive of the regime. So when you raise issue, it should be a concern to everybody who listens to your station and every well-meaning Liberian, even if you are a Mika man, you should be concerned about the well-being of the Liberian person. But they are not. It's just the Liberia that Bouaka came to rescue. First thing Bouaka did, a woman, former ambassador Judy Andy, she got violated by one of his supporters. He went to court. They denied her justice. A female. The second female is a woman who challenged whatever wrong conduct they were carrying at NASCO. That woman is no longer in her post. Bouaka, even if you are intolerant, you will be intolerant to female too, Bouaka.
As you are referencing all of these repressive acts, and of course, which of course, as you term as a purge against people who may have one way or the other affiliated. I even got news today. The Internal Affairs Minister was able to call Chief Zanzankawa and said that because of your alignment where we are here and there, the whole traditional council thing, they come and dissolve it. And when the paramount chiefs, they come into pension. Everyone else is a target because affiliation is something, quote unquote, because Delon himself condemned Chief Zanzankawa and humiliated him and have no respect for tradition. So we are sensing that they are hunting everybody out. I think I understood that today from the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Somebody called me and said, that's what they said. So they are like outrooting everyone else.
You know, but this should be concerning to all of us as well-meaning Liberians. A young brother said they were going to organize a group called Movement Against Witch Hunting, but it is not enough. You know, on this show, what you said you will discuss the other day, on this show, the one thing I like us to do, the new Senate we have, I assume that there are people there who got some substance. And if they are supposed to clean that Senate of filth, a filthy guy like Dylan there, they need to now put him on scrutiny. Because he's the one who say putting more on Zanzibar Kawa and this internal affairs minister who is an abuser or an orchestrator of violence. This is the man who orchestrated the violence in Lofa Country, right? Abuaka rewarded with internal affairs job. He is the one now who doing that because he feel embodied by Dylan critique or criticism, unfair criticism of Chizanza. Chizanza Kawa and Ambassador Judy, and these are people who play roles that are just ceremonial. Any power that comes, they work with you. So how can you now, cast Kakawa as a dog we are collaborator? It's a complete rubbish. But the point I'm trying to make here is, I don't know whether the Liberian Senate has ethics committee. If they do have ethics committee, the ethics committee need to pick up the piece I just wrote. Mr. Dillon has been lying about his credential. Everywhere around the world, when you embellish your credential, when you lie about your credential, if you are in high post, the ethics committee investigate you, and if need be, and if you are wanting, you get expelled. United States of America just set a recent example on a guy called George Santos. George Santos was the representative from New York. George Santos, representative of New York. He fabricated, he lied about his resume. And if you're talking about resume, Dillon on a resume is a farrago or lie. All kind of Latin Dillon wrote as a resume. That George Santos guy, representative from New York, he's being expelled from the United States Congress. The ethics committee in Liberia need to pick up this. Dillon for too long has lied about his high school credential. Now it's the time to clean that field out. If the people in the Senate got backbone, they should do it. My friend Miguel is there. Miguel, you're a CDC lawmaker. You're going to be sitting down there, Dillon with a fake credential shouting over your head. You go to Nigeria. The Speaker of the Nigerian Parliament in 1999, Felosu Buhari, resigned over the fact that he embellished his credential. Google it. Felosu, the man was Salasu Buhari. He resigned in 1999 because he fabricated his credential. In Liberia, I think Young Moklama has similar situation. So how can brothers be sitting in the Senate and you have this notorious liar, this immoral guy marching all over the Senate and they looking at him, we're also submitting him to the grievance and ethics committee. Look, if you're serious about this thing here, Nathaniel McGill, a few of the guys from CDC who are there, you can summon the Indian consulate, the Indian consul general to Liberia, Jetty. Jetty was around when Dillon submitted his document to Luxa. I think it's an Indian parliamentary training something when he was serving in Snow's office as chief of office staff. On that document that Dillon submitted, the form he filled out, Dillon indicated that he had political science degree. He had bachelor of science degree in political science for the University of Liberia, which was a lie, which also proved that Dillon has not even gone through University of Liberia because in political science, you don't get bachelor of science, but Dillon heard it because it's political science, you don't have bachelor of science. political science, the bachelor art degree. But on that paper, he submitted to the LOXA program, which Jetty is aware of. Because that's why I think Jetty should be invited to the Liberian Senate and should speak on an oath. So if he says something that is not true, then there will be consequences. Liberian people, we got to clean the Senate up. And American, if you're listening to me, this is your call. This is your call. The America that we copy everything after. America just expelled one of the lawmakers from the Congress, George Santos, representing New York. He lied about his credential. They don't have been lying about high school people. On the document he submitted to the Indian government, when Jetty was active ambassador, and Jetty should be having knowledge of that document that was submitted to the LOXA program. Let them bring that document out. If they don't even indicate on that document, I saw the draft copy. If that draft copy was what he sent, because when you do a advanced draft, that you can't change it, and that draft copy is there, the Indian Consul General should come there. He can waive a diplomatic immunity. I don't know if they got diplomatic immunity, make it all kind of business in Liberia. They got diplomatic immunity, they can waive it. But you can say, look, because the same example was said by the American government, right? The American government invited a lawmaker in the British Parliament called George Galloway to answer questions in Congress. So Ambassador Jetty, Indian Council General Jetty, he can come to the Liberian Senate. You're asking her a question. Let him produce the document that Dillon submitted. And let him answer the question on oath that Dillon submitted a fraudulent document, lied to the Indian government that he had a degree in political science when he's not even a high school graduate. So high school dropout. You see, I'm making that point here because we're talking about cleaning the system. They see Dillon guy who want to cast himself as a moral icon, putting more on everybody, even insulting Chief Zanzibar Kawai, for we today. Chief Zanzibar Kawai is about to lose a job because the other new internal affairs minister think is able to please Dillon. He's going to be at their beckoning. It's a problem. It's a problem. Somebody got to tell Dillon that he's not a man in the Senate because he's a fraudster. It's a dangerous fraudster. Lie about high school people, lie to the Indian government that he had political science degree when he submitted those documents. I saw the draft copy. That's what I'm saying in public. And that's why I think the Liberian Senate, if Amara Conene mean well, if they want to clean that Senate, because the Senate will continue to smell with filth if you have people like Dillon in there. He's a filthy liar. They should put them, they should scrutinize his credential. And if his credential is wanting, they should expel him. Because you can't say you're a bona fide high school graduate when you don't have YS certificate and high school diploma. You can't say you get political science degree when you even go there, University of Liberia.
But he did not become senator on the strength of his credentials. So that's
no. Godson. Yeah. It is not about whether or not you become senator on the strength of your credential. It is about you not being earnest and truthful. That perjury. And they forget it, man. It's not over when they take the job there. Every document is submitted to that Senate will be truthful, right? You can't have senator who lie. They lawmaker, the representative who they just expel from the United States Congress, the lower house, law representative, George Santos. He didn't go to the place there on the basis of the document submitted. He went there on the basis of the election he got. The people voted for him. But when they recognize that the document he got on file was a farrago or lies, they examined him, they took a vote to tear and they expelled him. They said, in our midst, we can't have people who lie about their credentials. It's polluting the place. I mean, if you have a lawmaker who is polluting the legislature or the Senate by having false credentials in their hand, it is only but proper to what? To disperse without failed. The filthy liar should not be lawmaker. It should not be senior senator for our Montserrat County. You want a filthy liar to be your senator? A filthy liar, a man who lie on a high school paper and claim that he have political science degree to be your senator, brother? Is it fair to the people of Montserrat County? No, it's not. That's why he should be booted out and expelled. That's why I'm calling on Amara Kone, how they call it, brother? McGill. Every day, American people, they on your neck, McGill do bad thing, McGill do bad thing. You got to leave your legacy in that place. If it means you will invite Jetty there to testify to the document that Dillon Boss sent to India to do that training, if that document say that he had political kind of degree, you might go take the call. That will be your legacy. Stand up for something. If we accuse you of something, then you have Dillon over there, they're chatting over your head, when they don't even have proper high school paper. You gotta call the Indian Council General, let him talk on the oath. That the document that Mr. Dillon, and let him bring copy of the document that Dillon submitted to the Luxor program. Let's see it. On that document, Dillon indicated that he had political science degree. He's a dangerous liar. This is a man who was dismissed for stealing at B.W. Harris Elementary and Junior High School in 1993. 1993, Dillon was dismissed for stealing. He is no moral crusader. For him to sit down over there and be intimidating Chief Zanza Kawade and some internal affairs minister who was an orchestrator of violence in Lofo County to start threatening our chiefs and elders, to honor man Liberian culture and this tradition. It's a shame. It's a shame. I am appalled by this. That's why I'm calling on people who I believe having some backbone to stand up to this clown called Dillon. This empty skull guy who passes around and make pretenses with knowledge when he has zero knowledge. He never went to any serious school. Even Westchester is now a serious school.
So speaking to the issue of quality of education and so forth, government to be able to grade people and be able to measure productivity, effectiveness, and efficiency as well. Let's come to the issue. There was something I talked about last night. I would just like to get your take on it briefly before we can get to the asset recovery team. I also want to push the doctrine of statute of limitation. All of that, we'll try to get to that. Before we can get there, I was like assessing when we was taking over power, sometimes back in 2018, that is inaugural program. He made a statement, and of course was an open declaration, and I conceded to the word. Now, perhaps he may have some deficiency in the eloquence of his speech, but he said people should not judge him by the eloquence of the speech, but the quality of the decisions that he's going to be making. Now, Bwaka may have the eloquence of speech on his side, but if you were to judge Bwaka's decision, the quality of the decisions he has made so far versus Weah's quality of decisions that he made in the formation of government so far, where do you place Bwaka? Where do you place Weah?
Well, look, I don't know 100% endorse Weah guy. I endorse Weah in the runoff, and I say it was based on my Christian judgment.
Okay.
But brother, let me say to you, George Weah, if you put George Weah and Bwaka in the same room, George Weah should be graded very high. You know why? The Bible also said this. It said, if you say you are a follower of God, if you are a teacher, a minister, you are a minister, for example, you are a minister, you're reverend, you pastor, you some kind of thing, you deacon. He said you should know more knowledge of the Bible than the guy who is not a minister, right?
Yeah.
I'm making the analogy to say that George Weah spent most of his life on the soccer pages. Bwaka, all of his entire life, everything about Bwaka has been leeching on government. With Bwaka 45-year experience in government, the performance he's making, that performance you can grade, the performance is way below the mark. This man who has spent 45 years in government, he comes to government. The promises he made, he has not, in fact, he didn't make any robust promise. For instance, the man said he will detach, he will move, the Bureau of Culture and Tourism from Mika and make it independent or make it autonomous. Brother, this is something that will have to happen ever since. You get that old thing. There's not anything new that Bwaka was talking to move tourism from Mika. You know what the head of the Bureau of Tourism and Culture, the Jalakeke Kamara, back then. So it's not new thing that Bwaka was talking in the inaugural. Bwaka will spend 45 years in government and come. And in less than no time, the man who he sent to Nuka, we are told that he took some money away, his own nephew. And he will come. And in less than no time, corruption allegation will be hovering over his head. Where he's now taking money from poor people here, bribing lawmakers so they will remove speaker. Is that the first call to duty? Or the first call to duty was to bring the country together? The entire cabinet today, no opposition man there. Is that the experience, 40-year experience? If you go back to the history of the Great Britain, where I spent short time, the strength of Churchill was embedded in the cabinet, a cabinet comprising of opposition members. Churchill, foreign minister, the man who was to talk for England all around, Halifax, opposition guy opposed to the war. Joshua said, when the man gave critical view, I will go and think alone, and I make better decision. Bwaka cabinet today is comprising of what? Poodles. 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 No, poodles are obedient dogs. They just nod anything the president say. And even this president who is so advanced in age, you're going to be poodle for him? You're nodding at every decision, brother. So, but we are there by far better than we are in this short period of time. By far better. That's why I say the Liberian people, some of the people that out of hatred for we are bitterness. That's why they can't go against the man. It was not anything because you can't replace we are with Bwaka, who experiencing failing health, and we are to where we are today. I'm not going to pick up on the asset recovery. What you want to talk about? The asset recovery guy, the head of the asset recovery, invoke the doctrine of the statute of limitation wrongly. You cannot evoke the statute of limitation like the way the head of the ART did. What is statute of limitation? The statute of limitation, in fact, the general principle in law is that what? There is no statute of limitation for what? Crime. That's a general principle, right? And when they're talking about crime, now they're talking about what? Murder, felonious crime, like that. But there's an exception there, right? What they say the exception is where you have non-capital felony. Non-capital felony can enjoy statute of limitation. But in the context that we speak, there is also an exception that says the statute of limitation cannot be invoked when the crime committed was not in the knowledge of the government at the time the crime was committed. So you can't invoke statute of limitation for something that the government they didn't know about. So my friend Clark Martin was just downright wrong. When you invoke the statute of limitation, for example, he invoked statute of limitation until the government will not look at things that happened below 2018. He will look at things that happened 2018 forward. If you do that kind of blanket thing, assuming the new government comes and recognizes that somebody stack away Liberian government money and build a heavy mansion, you're going to say, oh, the evidence that we just got, we're not going to act upon it because the statute of limitation. The government did not know when the time that crime was committed. You can only invoke the statute of limitation when the crime committed is in the knowledge of the government and the government doesn't do anything as per Liberian law in 5 years. Because our non-capital felony statute of limitation is for 5 years. So, for example, a GSC did an audit and they showed it to the government and said, "Man, you're the government that stole money here." And the government sat down on that audit report and 5 years back and 10 years back.
It has to take a toll.
The statute can't come. But something that the government has not investigated, how can you impose statute against it, brother? It is a downright error by my friend. And no Clemente, but it's an error in judgment. He read the law book properly. And this is the problem with Bwaka too. Right, Bwaka? The other thing you need to ask my friend Martin and his people who on the team, whether they have read the code of conduct. They Martin, Clark Martin, and he begin the other Martin, what Martin on one committee. Have they declared their asset? You want to take people property. You declare you part of asset. The brain law say before you take power, you must declare asset. Have they done so? Are you aware of that, brother? I'm too busy in America. Have they declared? No. Any member of the ART, have they declared their asset? And they have not declared their asset. What gave them the authority to go after people's property? You know, the other time I made a good example here. You know, I don't know Fina Bombo, but she's my sister now because we all are doing. For me being Ricky, I say, but what parity of reasoning that my young brother, Martin Colley, will go and take Fina Bombo on the property? Martin Colley, who is a student activist, has been a student activist all along, fled from Liberia, got into self-imposed exile. He showed a picture where he get big horse. You ask a young man, where you were working and before you build a big horse there, he can't show you. What is sources of the money you got to build a big horse? Let's do a lifestyle audit of you. You do a lifestyle audit with 4 flat. So what do you find out? You find out that Pekin Mountain College must have benefited on the consequences of corruption. Because there is no way you can be that be her when you haven't worked seriously in your life. But Fina Bono, she can make an intelligent argument. She said, I was the chief of protocol. If you say my salary couldn't make it, yeah, I agree. But it was not only my salary I was getting. I used to travel with President. We are on almost every trip. And when I'm traveling on road trip, they used to give me traveling pardon. That's when the traveling pardon, they don't want that so much that he came to America, they feel and they came to government representation. I said, where government, they don't, why bring he get to represent government like somewhere? They think they're talking, honestly, pass away here. But let's put it up. So, I can say, as chief of protocol, I used to travel with President. We are every time, and I used to get my pardon. On top of my salary, I use my pardon. On top of my pardon, there were people who gave me political largesse. People who wanted to see the president. They, oh, sister, thank you for making me to see the president. Yeah, para for you. These are the money I used to build my house. Martin, can you tell all the sources of your own money that you pay your bills with? You can't do it. Have they even declared the asset? The Liberian law says before you take on government job like they have done now, like running all around, like call head chicken, they gotta get embarrassed. They gotta get, you know, bro. I'm telling the CDC people, CDC, I endorse George Weah, even though I'm a Labour Party guy. If you're sleeping on your red, there's a doctrine in law, they call it what? Estopor Balatis. CDC, the movement a government get inaugurated, the work of opposition politics starts. You can't sit down on it. If these people are brave to go after your former police chief, without any color of right or law, you know what they come and do to some of you? And you're still sitting there. They will count you have right before you pick out, you pay stock, go for pay, metaphorically speaking. Metaphorically speaking. When you pick out your own pay stock, right? At this stage, the CDC should be organizing. To be organizing. You'll be ready for the witch hunt that Bouaka had set into motion. If these people are brave to go after former police chief for no good reason, you know what they come and do to some of y'all? And you're still sitting there, you're waiting for them to come. You got to organize. Where I sit now, look, because if I were in Liberia, I would be campaigning heavily to go to the Liberian Senate. The Senate needs men. I need to go to that Senate to make that Dillon board to sit down. Because what Amara has done, he's not being able to do it. This is Amara Kone who supported Bouaka, but mustering the courage to criticize Bouaka, saying you're doing wrong thing. When was the last time they don't criticize Bouaka and say you're doing wrong thing? Even the Dillon man who used to argue, say corruption, wearing coats and walking around Broad Street, what did he do? Corrupted the system by sending a flunky to fire service to be what? Deputy Director for Administration. A man who doesn't even have a proper credential. That's political corruption. When you give people job only because they were your cameraman, if you deceive the president to appoint flunkies, that's political corruption. It's wrong. Political corruption, not just stealing money, because that flunky that going there to be deputy, to be what, director of administration. What work you think you will do there? Their courses are catching on fire every day in Monrovia. What Dillon recommendation is doing? A recommendation is a deputy for administration or the administration guy, a director of administration, a fire service. People horses are burning because they carry quacks there. Incompetent people in government. That political corruption. They may use the corruption working close you. They won't carry incompetent men there. Let a man show his degree he get for fire service that he understand anything about fighting fire. You will argue saying in administration, even in administration, you must have small knowledge about fighting fire. You don't get zero knowledge. But it's a shame that the country has come to this level. We need men in the Senate to call people, to ask difficult questions, to clean the Senate of filth that people like Dillon should not be there because they have nothing substantive to offer the country. Everything about Dillon is just simplistic. He has no depth. And in my piece, I said he's unmolested by lack of depth. He got no serious knowledge. Everything about the man is superficial. On top of him lying about everything about him is superficial. So, brother, if you were to grade George Weah, I saw some people sitting there somewhere now, they're regretting why George Weah had to go. What? Some people regretting that. Oh, but they were driven by our anger and hatred for the young man. Your brother wanted to be doing, we can see you. It's not correct. They're regretting. God said people are regretting. And if I can advise Weah, publicly, And they allow me to evaluate. One of the things we can do for his enduring legacy is to do like what Jimmy Carter did. If he doesn't want to get active in politics, do like what Jimmy Carter did. We can establish the WIA Foundation for Good Governance in Africa. WIA is the first president in Africa who will, before the total announcement was made that he was defeated, he conceded. That is a shining example that he can build a legacy around. He can bring clever people around there and run the foundation for him. He just go around giving speeches. They say some people invited we had to have a one other clown on the Facebook. Oh, why they invited me? I said, look at this joke. Former leaders are recognized by students around the world to learn from their experience. And they invite them. If the student can invite you, when we go to school, we are the enlightening potential of society. The people at Harvard, they don't let you who writing on Facebook, they clever more than you. You clown. If they saw something in WIA and invited him, say, come and talk to we, the student, impart knowledge, share your experience. How you did this thing in Africa, the first man who surrounded over 17,000 voters, even senators will dispute. How you did it? They won't learn. And you sitting down there writing nyama thing on Facebook and you stay behind Georgia. Right? You can go behind your own circle, papi. Move from behind George. Look, a George establishes that foundation. A foundation for good. We are foundation for good governance. And he brings intellectuals around him to run it for him. His legacy will outlast even Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter had a massive defeat in American politics. Jimmy Carter had a crushing defeat. Even Jimmy Carter, a one-time president too. But what did Carter do? Today, you see the Mayor Foundation all around. The Carter Center, they're building homes, they're promoting democracy, they're doing all kinds of things. Today, Carter legacy is trying to outlive him. George can do similarly. He's not the first person here to log on one thing, he's not anything. If he say, look, I'm going to put my energy in this direction and get intelligent people to run this thing for me, he will tower. He can move around now, raise some money, and build a few football stadiums, and even and can keep talking about democracy in Africa. When somebody invited me to Harvard, for you to acknowledge it, you sit in now and you won't pour water on it. Oh, that student they call it. Student that are potential future leader. And I'm going to flag a J student I go to Harvard. That's serious school. That's the cream de la cream of the American society. The economy of the American society. You can send flunkies there. If the student can see something in you and say, I can't talk to us, you gotta acknowledge it. It's not like Liberia now. Our economy, nothing there again. Our economy, supernova, nothing there. And Dylan is now our leader. And this man is proud to be marching behind Dylan, but he tries to criticize WIA. What are you doing? Dylan, who not even finished with high school properly, lie about everything. You happen for him to be your leader in Unity Party. But you stay behind George. What are you doing? So, brother, to summarize this thing, George WIA, for the short time he served, I think he has been able to outperform Bouaka because Bouaka is making too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. He's violating the law. He's in a hurry to do things that he has not properly understood. He has not need ombudsman. He got asset recovery team that making mistakes. They're talking about statute of limitation. When the statute of limitation cannot be evoked, when the crime not in the knowledge of the government, the statute of limitation also can be compared to what? Extropol balaches. Extropol balaches is when you sit on your rent and do nothing for 5 years. They say, okay, you are sat on your rent, you don't do anything 5 years, we can't go beyond here. That was statute of limit. So when the crime in question, the government is unaware. How do you evoke statute of limitation? How? On what parity or reasoning? The government will know every crime that being committed in the country. The only time the statute of limitation will come into force is when the crime was investigated and the government is in knowledge that the crime was committed and the government did nothing within 5 years or after 5 years. You're right. You can say, but start to carry your government, you knew about it, you do nothing. 5 years gone, bro. I go down to my hole. Well, it's not the case. The government not investigated thing. So why is Clark? So everything Clark is doing, Clark is clearly indicating or showing to every intelligent person that he is going to wish on CDC people. And CDC people are still sleeping. This is what's surprising me, because CDC is going to be a robust political party. All the crowd that come here in the country, only for 2018 you see you don't see well. They think here you want metaphorically you want to set the country to fire metaphorically because it can't start from 2018, brother. You can't do this because the statute of limitation you are invoked the statute of limitation. The doctrine here is unfair, it's falsely being invoked. So we protesting everywhere. Martin Luther King Jr. There's non-violent civil rights activists. He advocated for protest everywhere. And even when the protest turned violent, what did he say? He said, riot is the language of the unheard. That's not Martin Luther King. He said, I'm not advocating violence. But if you don't hear people, they're going to revert to riot. So hell, that's Martin Luther King. So if the Bwaka Asset Recovery guy, if his intention is to witch hunt, we are CDC people. We are CDC people got to fight back. They got to tell you, no, brother, we don't run a country like this. They colonize anybody private estate. They're not about Bwaka. About Bwaka guy won't fall to the grave. So you're not going to leave a country on fire behind. We're not going to do this. If Bwaka is serious about cleaning the country up, let him be serious and not fool the international community of the War Crime Court. All right? People who engage in broad day murder, who went on a rampage, raping our young women in our country, they cannot go unpunished. Even though from all I see now, Bwaka not even interested in female rape. You're placating people, you're pointing women at them. How can you be elevating some people and trapping people? Julie Andy, or rape violated. The other young woman at NASCO. If I were president, I would invite the young lady from NASCO to come see me. The woman will have that kind of courage to ask her question. These are the kind of women we need in Liberia.
What's up, brother?
Yeah. If I were president, that's what I would do. Because, brother, you know what made Ellen to shine? Ellen brought some tough people around her. She was not intimidated by intelligence, clever people. Bwaka is intimidated by clever people. Young, clever girls stand up and say, look, they are not real. And you dismiss her. You should bring that girl near you and say, sister, what funny in your belly? I need you around. You can't encourage other women to stand up. You don't dismiss her. So to be a Baptist preacher, a Baptist deacon, and you're trying to humiliate a female, you take bread from her table. You Baptist man, what Bible do you read, Mr. Bwaka? What Bible do you read, you Baptist deacon? You gonna take a job from a lady because she asked you difficult question? Isn't it a new Liberia we want?
Okay.
I'm appalled by this action by Bwaka. And even Amara Kone, who supported him, now join me to express a disapproval. It was wrong what happened at NASCO. If you criticized it yesterday, you must criticize it now. Nobody will clap for Bwaka because they dismissed a female who was standing up for her right. It's a shame. It's a scar that will go with him.
Okay, Isaac. All right, thank you, actually, Isaac W. Jackson. I really appreciate anything you've said, especially and in the wake of this, you never disappoint. Thank you. And I always call you a guest lecturer in this class. And normally when you come, that normal interview exchanges and things, then you have
But thank you very much. I'm passionate about our country, AB, and I'm doing my best to come to Liberia soon. So we keep the conversation. The Senate, we need a stronger Senate. Liberia needs a stronger Senate. People with courage who can stand up and look at friend man and say, you don't. Is that what you're saying?
You are contemplating contesting?
Oh yes. I don't want a flunky like Dylan, a habitual brazen liar like Dylan to be my senator. I don't want that. I will work with Sir Joseph to help me. That Dylan boy, we got to find a place for him to sit down. B. Debbie Harris dismissed that boy for stealing. People who lie about the credentials should not pollute the Senate. They may lie about credentials, should not pollute the Senate. The Senate is not a place for liars and flunkies. Understand it? So I will try my luck. I'm coming to the country. Hopefully soon I will come to the country. I will work with my friends in CDC and my Liberty Party people. We'll have a good conversation. But Liberia needs men with courage who can stand up and say this is wrong.
You can use any county and still come to the Senate. You got to use Monserrado County.
Yes, but I don't want to come. You're right.
Nobody will be the best person. You can either take off Nobody because Dylan will not stay. So you take Nobody.
I'm having a passing conversation. You know, I'm not an overly ambitious guy, right?
Yeah, okay.
So I'm having a passing conversation with my young brother Basigia. Basigia is from CDC. He's been having some interest in the Basa thing. So I don't know whether he still got that interest. If he still have that interest and he's been talking about it, we'll have a conversation. You know, but I was said with the CDC people, we'll have a conversation. The Basigia will give him and say, "Big brother, you go ahead." Fine. If Basigia says, "I still want it, I can support it." But normally they have to take a backseat. What have normally advocated for? What is she passionate about? What has she done? Even the Basa, where she senator from, United Party lost in Basa, correct? They lost in Basa. Today, Basa doesn't even have single superintendent yet. They're still fighting among themselves. Basa, the politically active county is with us superintendent. And nobody says that you protest, you happy. Why you happy over, sister? Why you passionate about? Where your fight? Where your energy? Where your heart is? I don't see it, brother. You pro-temporary now. You're not even trying to bring the country together. The country is still divided. Today, Basa doesn't have superintendent. Can you imagine that? So, brother, a basic guy, he's a young brother. I like him. He's been passionate. He went to run the last time. I think they talked to him. He left it. You know, he's been doing his free poll. Where I saw them moving from the poll, right? Because they put that they are unforgiving. You know, the party boy with that kid. So I think they remove back this guy. I don't
say Jonathan Kape had to settle down for basic guy's post.
Oh, yeah. You see what we're in, brother? So this is a problem with the country. So, but this is where we are. So if Basigia, you know, say, okay, senior brother, you can go ahead. I will try to move nobody from Basa because nobody is that. Basa needs somebody who is articulate, somebody who understands the issue. You know what John Francis Wealthy used to do in Ascended Timber? And I want to talk about Bronski. Francis Wealthy was a junior comrade to Bronski. You know what they did in Ascended Timber? You don't even hear nobody's voice. Every day they investing in skinny jeans. I said, look at this. But brother, the Liberia that we envision, we have to hold together and make sure that people who understand the issue, people who are well elected can come to prominent power and move the country in the right direction. This is where I am. And this is the Liberia I envision. It's not a Liberia where clever people, smart people will be marching behind flunky like Dylan. No, that's not the Liberia we want. Only because they can twerk in the dark. We want to march behind these people because they can twerk in the dark and buy influence, all kind of way. No, sorry. We can't do that, brother. We need a better Liberia with clear-headed minded people. We need a coalition of conscience. So I can even talk to my brother Molu. Molu, why happy? What a new group you forming, my man. Hey, we got to come together for the betterment of our country. Forget about that small thing, petty agreement. Let's hold together. To say to Unity Party people, all the people who are beating their chest and thinking they're going to do something. See what they're doing? They're underperforming. Unity Party is underperforming. You can see it? You can see it? They got no vision about where they want to take the country. No vision. What have Waka done that have convinced any intelligent person that the Omega vision moving the country somewhere? Everything he done end in tears. That noise. Asset recovery, noise. The first move is slap in the face. Slap in the face. Tell you thing, you can't even wait for his time. You're desperate. You want, even though it was the Bwaka Unity Party Honor Ellen Johnson Seli that brought about 10 new positions at the agencies of the government. Today he violating it. Isn't that Bwaka people? They brought it. Why he violating it now? Because he desperate. He won't find joy. He won't create beach tattoo.
You know, a lot of people, you know, I don't want to ask about the quality of the decisions that have been made by Bwaka because even if you check at GSA, that guy with a big gun that you see they flying around with Raul Wilson, he get 4 certificates, that's all. He doesn't have no, he's for
nothing. People with zero credibility, zero academic credentials, are the people passing around now. It's a shame. We thought they were going to do something better. But I knew this. I didn't make this mistake. We got to talk to brothers and sisters in Liberia who were driven by their anger, by their bitterness, by their hatred for we are, that they not gave me a second chance to make a man. You know, so normally when we driven by emotional anger and all these petty squabble, this is what happened. This is what happened. Because where we are now, even the city mayor, you saw the city mayor, the new city mayor? The new city mayor, instead of sitting down and thinking through things and devising strategy and bringing clever people to write better project proposal, why you are saying, oh, we don't get paid to party there. In the street, the city mayor is crying. No strategy, zero strategy. We didn't get paid to part that. Brother, when we give you government job, it's not to complain and cry, it's to find solution. When Bwaga was appointed you to the player, they did one scan thing to impress Bwaga. Is in another region coming, the clean few thing in there, Bwaga got impressed and get a Bwaga the job. Bwaga got no strategy. He know nowhere to start from. Zero. He ain't got nowhere to start. The debt in government, and that thing, that debt is a public health issue. You know that?
Yeah,
the
certainly.
debt that in government most of our country is a public health issue. It's a public health issue. They got to pay attention to it. Bwaga get our job, the one other skin guy who I heard him on your on the Facebook post, you cry. They didn't know the part there, but brother, it just confirmed the aphorism that it is easy to propose impossible remedies. It's easy to sit down on the sideline and just criticize other people that you get solution. When you get into the situation, you got no solution.
You got no solution.
When you go to City Hall, you should sit down and think through a strategy, project proposal, develop something that intelligent people will look and say, okay, we can help the city. But when you politicize everything, who's going to help you? Who's going to help you, brother? Who's going to bring money to help you? No, nobody's going to put money there to help you because it's politicized. It's politicized.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you so much for the time. I think we appreciate everything. We'll find another time again to be right here. And you had always been a fantastic guest lecturer on the show. I think our students really love your business.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to coming another time, brother. Thank you very much for having me. And I say, thank you for the show. Thank you for everything you continue to do for the country. Thank you.
I know. Thank you so much. He's Isaac W. Jackson. And let me just try to make the disclaimer. We were able to check up that kid who won, and because normally kids are not supposed to be part of this thing. So that kid who won were able to check it up. I think it's an elderly person that just decided to give that kid the phone so that they could just speak to it to just make the show to look somehow. But normally, kids on age don't play those games of ours. So I want to say thanks to all of you for the time. Let me just speak with our baby boy and who's at the fire incident in New Georgia Estate. Let's see what may have happened. How's the situation like on that? Abraham, what's up? How's everything with you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm here in New Georgia Gulf. The situation is a bit calm. The fire service team have just left.
Okay.
And I managed to have an interview with two of the
No, what happened? Describe
victims.
the fire incident, the impact. We just want to know that first before we know what could be the reason for that. Yeah, the impact.
I left people with nothing. They take away nothing.
The entire,
Nothing
you mean the entire house burned?
The entire house got burned, and they didn't take anything out of the house.
So you mean the fire service may have arrived there very late?
Very late. 3-bedroom apartments, but nothing they were able to take out of their house because the fire came out. It was very wide.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible. And we managed to have a short interview with two of the fire victims. And the first lady that I actually talked with, she's the resident of the center apartment. She's living in the center apartment, but she told me that she don't know the cause of the fire. But the lady in the first apartment, she came out and said she was actually pointing accusing finger at the lady in the center apartment. I got a recording here, and I can forward it to you.
Yeah, before we'll try to share that, we'll try to see. And but the fire service and the team was able to do their own investigation there, or they were able to ask some questions. And if they were asking,
we managed to speak to one Emmanuel File, and
the Delon man, yeah, Emmanuel File, the Delon man.
He said he is the deputy director for administration.
Yeah, that's who he is. Yeah.
Yeah. He said he can't speak anything out right now unless the investigators come out with their findings. I said, how long? He said, he can't tell me how long unless, after their findings. I said, where are your investigators? He said, they are on the ground. They are here, but they have to do their own findings. But in our own interview, some of their fire service members were with us while we're interviewing those fire victims. So that's where we are now. I'm trying to leave the scene because they, as firefighters, they have left the scene already.
Wow. So meaning they did nothing. Their presence meant nothing.
They did nothing. They said they just from fighting fire somewhere in Sinko. They came with no water. And
they said they came from fighting fire in Sinko, so they don't have no water.
Yeah, they didn't come with water.
So why they went there for now? If you went to go fight fire and water,
maybe they can't spectate. They came as spectators.
Jesus.
so community dwellers in the community here, you know, in New Georgia, most areas there we got wells, hand pumps.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah,
so
I live around there. Yeah.
In the neighboring surroundings, they gave their wells out. So the young guys in the community here, they went to take water from the wells. They were doing most of the job. So it was literally when the fire service team came in.
So when they went there, they only told you the only reason why they came late is because they never had water.
Instead of from fighting another fire incident in Sinko, they just came to to see, and then the bracket was too wide, so they can't go back. So it was just to help. They just started to help the community dwellers.
Does that mean they joined the community dwellers to use the?
Yes, of course. Yeah, to use the wells.
Wow.
The water from the various wells around here.
Yeah. It was better that they didn't go there because their presence there. What mechanism did they put in? What technique did they use? And anyway, but you say Emmanuel Farr was there, right? The deputy for administration.
Emmanuel Farr was here, and I got a voice on him as well. He said he can't do anything unless the investigators investigate. That's their work. They got to investigate what's the cause of the fire.
Wow. Anyway, thank you, baby, for risking your time going way there from your location that I know. Thank you so much for sharing with us what really happened.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, that's my daughter and Joyce D.K. Williams' grandfather. Yeah, his house. And that house, yeah, he really grew up from a zinc shop, to the kind of structure and it is and so forth. Years of existence has just been buried just in a daytime. Janje, I'm going now. Yeah, I don't have time. That's why I'm not picking you. Yeah, I don't have time. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I'll speak to you in your program tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much, Janje. We'll try to get you. All right, so folks, that's all the time. We did some draws, and solo draws has happened, and you people got the alert. I was able to screenshot those people who won. So tomorrow I'll be calling up on the winners. Sorry for the burnt of the house, and in New Georgia, Gulf. And we are in turbulent times. If you can get fire extinguishers at your house, please try to have them there. Those of you who don't have water in your compound, make sure you have your house with water there. And always in the house, in buckets. It should be in every ditches or pen where the fire is starting up small. You can stop it right there. And so try to do that for yourself because you just heard what he said. It's possible that maybe the fire service may have gone to Sinko and they used the little water they had there and they were making their way to New Georgia to just see what was happening there and maybe help with water around there because they have technical skills in fighting fire in the form and manner they did. So I think we can just go home on that tonight right here on this. Yeah, Carrasco, I'm just closing up now, so I don't know. What is it? No. Okay, so thanks so much to all of you for the time. We are very grateful to the Almighty God that nobody lost life there, but it said everything got burned and people lost their properties. And the fire incident just all over, just from Sinko to New Georgia. And we hear it about it all over. Let's not take this very lightly. Something is not just right. You may take it lightly, but something is not just right. It's getting too terrible for all of us. Already we have unstable electricity, and this is happening. What if you were to bring full-fledged electricity throughout this country? The entire country apparently could be on fire. So we don't want that. So let us please be in prayers with one another so that whatever it is, if it's spiritual or something, it can really pass over us. We can't continue like this. Thanks so much for being there. Do our for plus.